that was a really like intense scene.
Yeah,
Um,
because he did it super slow, covered her mouth so
yeah,
she couldn't scream,
bleh. Yeah,
and it was just really, like, really bad. So
yeah,
Kelly
it was
was the
scary.
first to go.
Yeah, Kelly was the first to die. Then, so then they have a friend named Judy who she goes to prom with this guy named Slick that she literally just met that morning. He gave her a ride to school in this really great 70s shaggin' wagon van. And he looked like the hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't know how he pulled her, but it worked. So,
Not
and
gonna
I love
lie,
how
he was very slick though. He was slick.
he was slick.
Had a, it was a ride. I personally would not have gotten in, but he was slick with
I
his
would hope
words. He
not,
had his
man.
own car, and he was a
And
gentleman.
he provided the weed too. Remember they had the
Exactly.
what did they have? It was like a was an American history book, and he cut out the middle of it, and
Yeah,
he
he
had all
was
them
like, "Hey,
joints in there.
pass me that book over there." And she was
Yeah,
like, "What are you gonna do with the school book?"
yeah, yeah. He just
And
opened it
opens
up. It
it
was full of
and
joints.
cut out
That
pages. It
that
was
just reminds me
amazing.
of something. That reminds me of something my dad did in the '70s. That's
I've always
hilarious.
wanted
By
to
the way,
experience the cutout book.
dude. Yeah. By the way, my dad sent me a picture of his prom night in from 1973, which is like, oh god, he's so funny looking. I love it. Not that I looked any cooler at mine. Like I was in the early 2000s or whatever. Like we were all idiots looking, but we were all so dumb. I mean, like I had like my leopard print hair and like my mohawk, and I was crazy looking. But but man, my dad's so funny. My dad told me this story about how he and I'm sorry I'm interrupting our plot here, but this is
Nah,
kind of
let's
funny.
go with it.
So but so my dad was with a girl that was a year behind him in school. And so when he went off to college, he came back for his girlfriend's her senior prom. And he said they had a great night. They were New Yorkers, so like they lived in North Jersey, but they pretty much would hang out in New York City all the time. They could literally like see Jersey from their. I'm sorry, they could see NYC from their neighborhood. It was like right over the bridge, so um, so they'd go hang out in New York City all the time. And uh, he said he said they all went to this comedy club after hours, and it was like 2 in the morning. And do you know who Rodney Dangerfield is? You're a little young, but he's like an extremely famous comedian. Do
Yeah,
you know who
no,
he
I
is?
have no clue.
You ever hear the guy that's like, I get no respect? You ever hear that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Hilarious comedian. So they went to his club. This was 1974. So they went to his club at like 2 a.m. and he said Rodney Dangerfield got on the stage, made fun of all the kids that showed up for about 10 minutes, and then he just got off the stage. He said he messed with them because they were all dressed up coming home from prom. And I thought that was kind of funny. Um, so which is it's just wild to think about. And then he said he went and saw Count Basie like later that night too, famous musician. It's like all on the
Yeah, I have
same
no
night.
clue.
Okay, anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just kind of wild. He said it was like all on the same night, and then he said he drove his girlfriend home, and she broke his heart. She broke up with him
Wow.
after that like really nice night. I was like, oh man,
Queen shit.
he's like, yeah, yeah. I remember him telling me about that too as a kid, but I didn't like get all the details. And it's just wild like thinking about him going to see Rodney Dangerfield. But that was like a normal thing for them because New York City was right there, so they'd always go. Anyway, let's get back to this plot. So the prom is still going on. Cops are starting to swarm the place because they think the killer is on the, but they still don't see any of the dead bodies yet. So what's her name? Oh, Judy. She's in the van with
Judy.
her boyfriend Slick. I like when he
Getting
introduces
it
himself.
on.
Yeah, yeah, they were making love in the back of the van, smoking some weed. And dude, the killer comes up and he opens the door, grabs Judy, I remember
Mm-hmm.
he shoves the, was it the axe? Yeah, I think he hits her with an axe right in the face. Remember he like pulls her head back and then she's hanging out of
Yeah.
the van doors.
Yeah, because she was
Yeah.
like laying down and he opened the doors and stabbed her in the neck like four
Blech!
times. It
Yeah,
was, and then they did like a close up of
that was
her neck and it
brutal.
was all gashed open. And so Seymour, Slick, he is like screaming, but
Yeah.
he's very smart. He immediately goes and pushes him off and then gets into the van, puts the van in reverse and tries to run over the killer.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He
He
punches the
missed.
dude in the face. He like almost knocked him out, but the killer
Yeah,
was
he
real
punched him
was real
super hard.
squirrely. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
he
the
was
killer gets
tiny.
he gets on the side of his van and he's like uh and he's messing with the wheel and they're going at it for a while. I was like, holy shit, like the stunt work was awesome by the way in this film
Hells yeah.
because
He was like
I love
going,
old
he
school
was
stunt work.
hanging on for dear life.
I
Slick is
know.
still driving the car. He does not stop for 1 second. It's like going in reverse and then putting the
And he's
car
going in
back and
circles and then
drive. Yeah.
he drives off the fucking cliff and the car instantly lights on fire and explodes, dude.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense because the killer did get inside of the car and was controlling the steering wheel. So they're fighting back and forth, not paying attention. It just drives off. The car, there was like literally no car left by the time it blew up. That
No, but
shit
that was just so
was
funny
cheap.
because like I was that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, the effect was really good, but it just didn't make any sense. Like, why would the
Yeah,
car
how
just,
is
but that's just how, movies are or
I
whatever.
mean, makes sense that it would blow up, but damn, there was like no van left after that.
So
And
so
how
what's
did the killer
cool?
survive that? Did he jump out?
Yeah, he jumped.
Obviously, but hello?
Okay. Oh, I think it's back.
Oh, we're
Is it
back.
back? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep,
As long as we don't hang up, I think it'll be all right when it connects again. So
cool.
anyway, so he's chasing her all through the shit and all through the school. She can't find an escape route at all. She's pretty good at running and she fights back for a little bit.
Yeah, and she has
Um,
high heels on. She was killing it.
yeah, I know. She was. Oh, by the way, yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous woman. Um,
Oh my god, Wendy
whoever
was a
whoever the
bad
actress is.
bitch.
Let's see who's the actress that played her. Um, oh, Eddie Benton played Wendy. Yeah, beautiful woman. Um, is that really her name, Eddie? Oh, Edie. My bad. Oh, Anne Marie Martin. That's who it is. Born Ed Edmonda Benton. Okay, cool. She's a. Oh, these are all Canadian actors, by the way. This was a Canadian movie, so
Wow.
interesting. So, um, where was I? Oh, so he chases her down, and then he finally finds her in the like the broom closet after she sees I think what she sees like a dead body in there already, right? Didn't she? The killer put Kelly's body in there,
Yeah, he put her inside the janitor's closet and it was like
the janitor's
blood
closet.
dripping
Yeah.
down. And
Mm-hmm.
she's not paying attention to the dripping sounds at all. And the killer finally like catches up to her basically. And she finally looks and sees that it was Jude. Was it Jude?
No. It was oh boy, no, it was Kelly because Judy burned up
Oh yeah, in the
in the
fire.
car crash. Yeah,
Right.
so
So she found
yeah, it was Kelly.
Kelly hanging upside down, all dead, and she screams
And the
and
killer
the
hears her
killer
and he,
asks her.
yeah, oh yeah, yep, axed her right in the head.
Yep.
Um, but okay, so then finally the uh, so they go back to the prom. Nobody knows anybody else is dead. The cops are getting a little suspicious though, because I guess because of the car crash, the blown up car right outside of the school.
Right.
They start announcing the king and queen of the prom, which is Kim and Nikki. So So it's Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and then one of the kids from back in the day that was accidentally responsible for her sister's death, and he's been wanting to tell her the whole movie, but he's too afraid to tell her.
Yeah, and she
Um,
has no clue that it was him.
exactly, she has no clue. So then, um, so they get announced as king and queen of the prom. They're standing up on stage, and the um, the killer she oh that's right, so we didn't get into this. So the whole plan that Wendy and that Italian dude, the bully, came up
Lou.
with was, yeah, Lou, thank you. Lou and his buddies, they knocked out Nikki for a little bit and tied him up, and he was going to go out on stage as prom king when it all got announced, and he was going to surprise Kim, and he was going to try and basically ruffle everybody's feathers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like a
Just
cool
fuck
way
up
of putting
prom.
that. Exactly, he's just going to fuck up prom. So they knock him and his buddies knock out Nikki. They tie him up. He takes the crown, and then the killer is coming from behind and backstage, and all he sees is a guy with long hair and a crown. So he thinks it's Nikki the whole time. So you start
Right.
finding out, like, you start thinking, like, oh, maybe the killer is the dad of the little girl that died, because they kind of allude to it a little bit. So then, like, you're like, oh shit, the killer thinks that the guy with the crown on is Nikki, so he chops off the dude's head, and that was a really
And
good effect that they
it
did.
was, and it rode right on to the end of the prom catwalk,
The,
and everyone
yeah,
starts
the
fucking
catwalk,
screaming.
exactly. Yeah, everybody's freaking out and trying to escape, and then the killer comes out from behind, and after I'm sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis unties her boyfriend Nikki, and the killer goes, oh shit, like basically like, oh shit, I chopped the wrong guy's head off,
Yeah,
and
he
he
got
goes after
electrocuted,
him.
remember? He got electrocuted. He got blown back.
Oh, that's right, I forgot all about that.
I remember that.
um yeah, what did he do? What did his axe hit, like an electrical cable or something? Is that what happened?
I honestly I don't remember. I just
Man,
remember that he had got
we just watched this last night.
that's true. I remember that after he had hit the head, he had got blown back by something. I don't know why, but basically like the wiring got fucked up or something, and so he got blown back and got knocked out for like a little second or whatever, which gave time for
That's right.
Jamie's character to grab her
Yeah,
boyfriend and
Kim.
untie him and shit.
So they're trying to escape, but the killer corners them, and they have this awesome long fight scene. And Jamie Lee Curtis, she sees the eyes of the killer, because he's wearing like a kind of like a
A ski
sparkly ski
mask.
mask,
Yep.
and she sees his eyes, and she's like, oh shit, I
She
think
knows whose it is.
she knows who it is. But she hits him, and it's which so she grabs the axe from the killer as the killer and Nikki are fighting, and she hits him in the fucking face with it, and he starts bleeding. And as she looks at his eyes, she's like, oh shit, she knows who it is. And then the audience kind of knows too. They're like, oh my
Right.
god, that's her brother. So so that was crazy. So he walks out pulling his mask off, and he's telling her they're all responsible for Robin's death. And
Yeah.
that's like how the movie ends. So he was trying to take a revenge
Revenge. Yeah.
for his little sister's death. So
And
that's how the
he
movie ends.
obviously died. He died from
He
that
did
little
die.
ass hit in the head.
Yeah, it seems like it wouldn't have killed him, especially from all the other shit he had been through that night.
Yeah,
That was a little odd, but oh well, still an excellent film. I was really
for
surprised.
sure.
I think I had seen this before, like, I don't know, shit, 14 years ago, I want to say, maybe when I was like 16. But uh, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The cinematography is fantastic in this movie. Like, the camera angles, really, really well planned out for
Mm-hmm.
this type of thing. Typically, like I we always say, like, a lot of these lower budget movies, they don't really take the time, but this one really, really gave it its all. So
It
I was
really did.
impressed,
It was
man.
really good.
I really love this movie.
That was probably my second time watching it, and I remember watching it the first time because I remembered that being in the abandoned building and their striped shirts. I remembered that part,
Oh
but
yes,
I did
very
not remember
70s.
anything else in the movie.